Tonight's play was created over the past 10 months with generous support from USC.
The words in this play come from some 25 interviews conducted with Columbia residents who were impacted by the flood.
Some of the people's homes were flooded, others helped out. Some of the words come from television and newspaper stories, and others from social media accounts.
The identities of the interviewees have been changed, but their words haven't. Their words might be said across different characters, but what the interviewees said is kept intact.
But before we can talk about the events of October 4th, we have to acknowledge what happened in the weeks and months before the flood.
South Carolina experienced a series of horrific events that shaped our identity. The shooting of Walter Scott in North Charleston in April. The brutal murders of Reverend Clementa Pinckney, 41.
Cynthia Hurd, 54.
Reverend Sharonda Coleman Singleton, 45.
Tawanza Sanders, 26.
Ethel Lamps, 70.
Susie Jackson, 87.
DePayne Middleton Doctor, 49.
The Reverend Daniel Simmons, 74.
Myra Thompson, 59.
At the Mother Emanuel Church in June.
The flag in July.
The shooting of Officer Greg Aaliyah in late September.
It was like all of these things piled up on us.
Like South Carolina was being tested to find out who we are.
To find out what we're made of.
To find out what shape we're in.
Edward Said said, "The past matters and how it makes itself known in the present."
And in October, our past mattered. It mattered because just weeks before the rains came, in the wake of that vicious hate crime, came a light. A grace that was almost, well, to me anyway, impossible to understand.
Forgiveness. It was like all of this was still in the air, still hanging around us. And then the rain started.
I thought it would never stop.
I woke up and I was like, oh shit.
There was so much rain.
11 trillion gallons, in fact. That's 636 million swimming pools.
130,370 Rose Bowl stadiums.
That's enough water to end the California drought.
We went to bed Saturday night not thinking it was going to be an issue, and then by Sunday night, my parents and my little sister were wading outside their house in chest-deep water, holding their pets over their heads.
I came out Saturday night after going to dinner, and the river was still about 2 feet below the wall there at the end of my property. I thought everything was fine. Sunday morning, I'd get up around 7:30 to brush my teeth. I thought, oh, crap. There's water all around the house. They opened the dam locks in the middle of the night.
So much rain.
I left my home about 11 yesterday by way of boat. The dam busted a few ways up. This whole area was flooded. The houses across the street, the water was up to their roofs. I was lucky because it only came up to 1.5 feet in our house. I've lived here most of my life, and the dam broke twice while I've lived here, and it never flooded. But it started. I couldn't see when I woke up at 4:30 this morning, yesterday morning, how bad it was, until it got light. I was just panicking, and the water was just rushing all over the place. Then it started coming up to the floor, and that's when I really started getting scared.
Within minutes, the water went from waist deep to shoulder deep.
There were probably 4 or 5 police cars out there, lights flashing, and this guy walks up to me in my car on Trentham Road, and it kind of scares me because it just dawned on me. It was just dawn, and I couldn't go any further because I realized I'd hit the water. And the guy walks up to me and he knocks on my window and he says, "Can you help me get a guy out of a car?" And I get out of my car and I step into the water, and it is almost 1 foot high. And I said, "Oh Lord." And so we walk over to this elderly guy. He was in his car, and the water was already up to my knees, and he couldn't get out. So we got him out of the car. The police were on the other side of the street, and they couldn't come across this deep pool of water already. And so we're wading through, but they couldn't drive their cars. So I said, "Well, there's no way we're having church today."
It's your home. You think you're safe, right? At 5 in the morning, I heard rushing water, so I jumped up, and water was getting ready to come into my house.
And you look at it, sort of a disbelief that the power of water was so vast and so overwhelming.
I had to swim with my children.
My husband and 2 children were rescued, pulled from a second-story bedroom window.
We waited in our attic crawl space for hours. I mean, who knows what we were breathing in.
It was 5 a.m. We got a bang on our door with an open hand that said, "Throw me your car keys." And I went running down the stairs in my nightie, and it was the young boy across the street. And I threw him my car keys, standing in water up over my knees. That's when I knew.
My daughter called from Charleston to check in on me. She called 911 for me, and the next thing I knew, there were 8 firefighters out at my house. I couldn't get out. I thought about driving my truck out, but there was no way. The river was moving so fast. If it pushes my car up the river, I'm in trouble.
So much water.
Hello? Whoa, you really got hit. I am so sorry to see all this out there. That is an impressive trash pile.
Yeah, a few days ago, that stuff wouldn't have been called trash.
No, I'm sorry.
It's trash now.
Can I help you?
Yes, I am a FEMA canvassing volunteer. FEMA's mission is to support our citizens and first responders to ensure that as a nation, we work together to build, sustain, and improve our capability to prepare for, protect against, respond to, recover from, and mitigate all hazards. So I'm here to help. See how I can help.
You got a corkscrew?
No, sorry. I just wanted to make sure you're registered with FEMA. You certainly qualify.
That's just what I've always wanted.
Sorry.
Good. Funny? Yes. So, here are the 3 steps you need to start the claims process with FEMA. Step 1, notify your insurer to start the claims process. After experiencing a flood, contact your agent or insurance company to file a claim. Make sure you have the following information handy: the name of your insurance company, your policy number.
I might not be able to get my hands on our policy number at the moment.
Oh, I'm sure that's okay. You'll also need a
My home is an attractive nuisance. Don't you love it? An attractive nuisance. Let me translate that for you just in case you don't speak insurance. An attractive nuisance means that if someone were to break into my home, I could be held liable for injuries to said trespasser. So I have to go to Lowe's and buy sheets of plywood I can't afford to cover up windows and doors just to keep people from entering my house. It's a shell. There's literally nothing in it. What are they going to take? And if someone is curious enough to come into my house and see what happened to those poor people, and they get their leg broke, good. Attractive nuisance. Half of my garage was ripped off of my house. Oh yeah, that's real attractive. I called my insurance company yesterday, and do you know what their advice was? Get all the valuables out of the house. Check. I think Gills Creek pretty much took care of that one for me. I heard some insurance bigwig on TV the other day. He said, our objective is to make make sure that as many competitors get into the marketplace to make sure rates are not excessive, inadequate, or unfairly discriminatory. Do you know what I want their objective to be? Me. I want to be their objective. I've done what I was told to do. I didn't have to buy flood insurance because I wasn't within the 100-year floodplain. I've paid homeowners insurance for years, and I haven't collected a dime. The time I need it, they're finding every loophole they can to not help me. That insurance guy on the TV said, this hurricane season, we are encouraging citizens to plan, prepare, and protect their families. Screw you. I protected my family. We swam from our front lawn 50 yards to safety. If a seat cushion hadn't floated by, I might have lost my daughter. I protected my family. I bought insurance. You guys are real charmers. According to you, my house is a nuisance, and the only way to protect my family is to give you more money. Yeah, you make your priorities crystal clear.
So, any questions?
No, we're good.
Great. Well, good luck with everything, and I'm really sorry.
For me, the most lasting sign or symbol or whatever of the flood is the orange X's you'd see on cars and houses. It's a sign of an all clear. We've checked, no one is here. I live on the end of the street with a lot of them. The water came up to my roof line, so there was really nowhere to place the X. X marks the spot. X marks the spot where we were stuffing our pets in the carriers trying to figure out how to leave and not drown. X marks the spot where my kids' room became a mold-infested swamp. X marks the spot where we wouldn't have Halloween, or Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or birthdays, or 4th of July, or Labor Day, or Halloween. X marks the spot where my neighbor, who lives at the top of the hill and was blessed to be spared, asked me weeks ago,
How are you doing?
well, you know,
God, I'm really sorry.
thanks.
Are you guys all right?
Things are up and down, but we're squeaking by. We're still living with Robin's parents. Thank God for them. I was just stopping by to see if it fell in on itself yet.
Yeah, having family nearby is a real blessing. I just found out I'm gonna get transferred. My firm just got bought up, and we're relocating to Austin in a few months.
I hope that's a good thing for you guys. We'll miss you at the Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, thanks. Any chance you guys might get going on your house soon?
FEMA only gave us money to replace the HVAC.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm really sorry about that. I'm gonna need to sell my house soon.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know how bad this must sound, but I really need to get as much out of it as I can. I mean, Austin's a really expensive city, and we won't have a lot for a down payment unless we get a good deal on our place. So, I'm sure you understand. I mean, I hate to even ask.
I hate that you're asking.
I can only imagine how hard this has been for you and Robin and Justin.
Yep.
But don't you think it's time to move on?
To what? What does that look like? Austin? We're paying a mortgage on a place that we may never be able to live in again. We've gone through our entire savings getting at this point. I'm sorry we're not moving fast enough for you. That must be damn inconvenient.
No, it's not like that. It's just
Rumor has it that the city is going to make a park here, so maybe that will help. Maybe that'll help your asking price. Knock down my house, make a park, and you'll be in luck.
No, it's not like that.
X marks the spot where the flood keeps coming in waves.